Okay, so first video of the year. So excited, geometry, right? So let's do just 2 problems. And these problems, one is one of those performance tests, one of those longer problems, and the other one is going to be an error analysis problem. Just getting you thinking, okay? So here we go. So the first problem says, we're going to graph triangle ABC with A at 4, 7, B at 0, 0, and C at 8, 1. Okay, so you can make your standard graph, which is that, XY axis, all 4 quadrants. But notice all these points are positive, so really all you need is the first quadrant. So watch the kind of graph I draw. I know it's kind of bumpy, sorry. But it's just the first quadrant. And all I need to go is 8 in every direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? And I'll graph this. A is at 4, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's A. B is at 0, 0. And C is at 8, 1. Alright. And the first part, and it's a triangle, so let's graph. There we go. There we go. As straight as I can be. Cool. And we want to see which sides of triangle ABC are congruent, and how do we know? Okay. So part A. If I want to tell if things are congruent, I need to find their measures, and these are side lengths. So I'm going to use the distance formula. Distance equals x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. So let's find AB first. So this equals, and again, I'm going to use A and B's coordinates. So let's use the x's, 4 minus 0 squared plus, and now the y's, 7 minus 0 squared. That's going to be the square root of 4 squared plus 7 squared. Notice my parentheses. That equals 16 plus 49, which is the square root of 65. And if you would like a decimal, the square root of 65 is roughly 8.1. So now let's find BC. So BC is going to be, let's use B and C's coordinates. Let's go 8 minus 0 squared plus y is 1 minus 0 squared. That is going to be 8 squared plus 1 squared. That is 64 plus 1. That's the square root of 65. Uh-oh, that's also going to be 8.1. So there we go. There's a pair of congruent sides. Let's check the third side to see if it's congruent to the other two, AC. So we'll go, okay, so now we have not the 0, 0 point. So let's go 8 minus 4 squared plus, and let's go back to 1 minus 7 squared. This is 4 squared plus, and now watch this, negative 6 squared. So then 4 squared is 16, and now watch, negative 6 squared is positive 36. Remember, when you square it, they become positive, no more negatives. This is the square root of 52, and the square root of 52 is going to be 7.2. So the question is, which sides are congruent? So we're going to go segment AB is congruent to segment BC because they have the same length. There we go. Awesome. Okay. All right. B. Construct the bisector of angle B. Uh-oh. The first problem was a distance problem. Now you're asking me to construct something. Here's where these performance tasks interlap. They ask you to do multiple things. That's why they're great problems. So how do we construct the angle bisector of B? Now you don't have the tools, I understand, but I'll kind of walk you through the process. Remember those videos, right? So when I'm going to construct the bisector of angle B, first thing I do is I put the point, and I'm going to use this light blue for B. Okay, so problem B. It'll be right here. So first thing I do is I put how about we do purple or pink? Okay. So first thing is I put the point of the compass on B, and I measure out some width with my compass. So maybe I'll go to about here. Okay. So this is the width of my compass, and now I'm going to make an arc. Remember, here, and I'm going to continue it on to here. So I get those 2 arcs. And then remember, I take my compass as it is, I put the point here, and I make an arc in the middle, and I put the point here and make an arc in the middle. And where they crisscross that point, where these 2 arcs, I'll make them a little bit longer, where those 2 arcs crisscross, this is your bisector, and I'll draw it as best I can, right like so. Just like this. And they said mark the intersection of the ray with AC as D. And there's point B. And there's point D. And that's part B. Okay? So notice how it brings in the distance formula with constructing. That's great. And then C. And I'll do C right up here in blue. What do you notice about AD and CD? Well, it's very tough to see because we're not exact, but if you notice, it looks like, so it says, what do you notice? It looks like D is right in the middle of A and C. So, it looks like AD and CD are the same length. Something to that flow, right? It looks like D is the midpoint of AC. It looks like segment AD is congruent to segment CD. Something like that. It looks like AD and CD are the same length. Okay? So they'd be like marked congruent. Just like that. So that's one of these performance tests, right? It takes a couple steps. It's a great problem. Alright? Okay, so make sure you're thinking. Practice that one from the group quiz. Okay. Alright. Second problem here. Error analysis. A classmate used the equation below to find the length of the segment shown. Explain your classmate's error, then find the actual length of the line. Okay? So let's take a look at what they did. So this is the distance formula, and it looks like they put a 2 in here and a 7, and then a -1 and a -2. Well, look at these 2 points. This is the point 2, 7. Look what they did here. They put those 2 coordinates in the first part of the distance formula. This is an x and the 7's a y. In the distance formula, remember, it goes x2 minus x1. These are both x's. So you can see his error. He substituted the 7, which is a y, in for the other x. So that's the error. So let's describe that. So, explain your classmate's error. My classmate substituted, something like that, substituted the y value of 7 for an x value in the distance formula. He did the same thing with, and which one? So he did the same thing with -1 with the x value -1 in place of a y value. So something like that, right? So something lets me know you know that that's an x and a y. He put the y where the x goes. And now we have to fix it. That's the second part. So let's fix this. So distance equals, so over here, let's stay with 2, but now let's go minus -1 squared, right, the other x, plus, and we'll go back to 7 minus -2 squared. That's going to be plus plus. That's going to be 3 squared plus plus plus. That is going to be 9 squared, all inside a square root. That is 9 plus 81. That's the square root of 90. And the square root of 90 is 9.5. So there's the correct work. Okay? Alright, so I hope you find this video helpful. Again, just nice and short, part of your study plan, hopefully that you're doing, to study very hard for Chapter 1 test. Alright, we'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday. Thanks for watching.